We start the assembly with these two transformers. The manual states that we need to cut a square copper sheet 18 by 18 millimeters. The simplest way is to use a caliper that is set to millimeters. It is in general about 0.71 inches. But caliper is much easier to operate. The provided copper strip about 18 millimeters. So the strip needs to be cut at 18 millimeter pieces with scissors. And after that, using the drill bit, we roll tubes out of them, and we need to use 5.56 millimeter drill bit. There is a PCB strip that needs to be cut into the sides of the transformers. The manual has a photo of the finished transformers as well as steps how to assemble them, and I will show some of them also. I cut 18 millimeter strips with scissors, and I will use a suitable diameter Allen wrench to roll them into tubes. The tubes are done, and now we need to cut the sides. The simplest way is to do cuts on both sides of the PCB using a knife or a box cutter, and then break it along the cuts. That's what we will do. The sides are done. I will use sandpaper to smooth the edges. Please note that the sides are different. One side has a copper layer stripped in the middle, and the other one does not. I assemble the first stage and check current, make sure that it works as it's supposed to, and then I assemble the second stage and check the current, which can be conveniently checked on this pin. In my case, the current was too low, and assumingly I should adjust that current with the resistor, this resistor. So in my case, the stage was working in class C, almost in class C. Reducing the resistor will increase the current of the second stage. However, pay attention that the current through the resistor is pretty high, so the wattage of the resistor need to be also reasonable. However, you may tune this resistor later. It does not really affect the performance of the amplifier in terms of the functionality. So I will assemble the second stage. It's not that much stuff left. The current of the second stage can be conveniently measured at these contacts. Basically, the power supply go for the second stage, for the final stage, actually goes through that pins, and all the current can be measured there. The amplifier outputs about 10 watts with about 13 volt power supply. I have 10 watt version, so people who have 30 watt version likely to get 30 watt output. So please make sure that you have reasonable heatsink with this device. It shows very good uniformity across the bands and cover all the HF bands with approximately 3 dB uniformity in my case. Again, I'm not sure about the 30 watt version of the amplifier, but likely it should be about the same. It seems I lost video of the fully assembled amplifier. Fortunately, there are no pitfalls. Just please test all the components before you install them. Make sure they're within specs. Particular, pay attention to the red capacitors. They tend to be slightly lower than they're supposed to be. And if it is the case, like for example, they lower than 30% of what they're supposed to be, just replace them. Otherwise, it is pretty straightforward assembly, nothing really difficult. You may play later with the current of the second stage, making sure that it's working as it is supposed to. However, in my case, even with the components which came with the kit without any modifications, the amplifier was working just fine. I assume that bringing the current to the specified 40 milliamps likely to provide slightly better linearity with the amplifier. Otherwise, good luck and feel free to pose the questions. Thank you.